spot on accurate because our guests have arrived. Hello, ladies. How are we doing?
Good.
Excellent. Let's start with.
Grab those microphones, lady. Put them up next
Put
to
them
you.
right, yeah, to you like
there.
that. All right, let's get introductions here. Ma'am, you are?
Julia Barcott. I'm a registered nurse.
And you, ma'am?
I'm Mary Verhey. I'm a registered nurse at Astria, or was at Astria.
Okay. Are we plugged in and everything over there? Did you say Mary or Marie?
Mary.
Mary. All right, so Julie?
Julia.
Julia.
Yeah.
And Mary. Okay,
Yeah.
there we go. All right, ladies. Man, oh man, tough to. Always like to meet new friends and talk to people for the first time, but it'd be nice if it was under other circumstances.
Yes.
How many years did you put in?
42.
42 years.
I started as a secretary out of high school. Back then, they could support developing their staff. I went to Spokane to school to get my degree, and they let me work holidays and weekends till I graduated.
Be darned. That's a long, long time. Now, you kind of are at a different position, right? You're just kind of like are you a union rep for nurses, or how do we describe what you do?
Well, I did work for Astria
Yeah.
for 14 years, ortho, neuro, and ICU. I'm in Toppenish now.
Okay.
But I'm the cabinet chair of the Washington State Nurses, which is elected by all the nurses we represent. It's an unpaid position.
Like radio.
Yeah, like when I was a musician, you know. And so I'm involved because it's my community, but also because it's what I do with the Washington State Nurses.
Okay, well, let's talk about this. It's not every day that a hospital goes down. I mean, I know it does happen, but it's such a shock that we all think, of education, medicine, something the top few institutions that never aren't the same. Are there any jungle drums out there about last minute swoop in, save the days? I mean, those kind of rumors get flying around a lot, I would imagine. But is there anything of substance that you guys have heard about?
Not that all I've heard is rumors.
Yeah.
There's rumors that once the bankruptcy settled, somebody will come in and buy it, but who knows? Yeah.
All right. So as of now, the emergency room's closed, right? If I had an emergency, I'd be knocking on a door and nobody will come and answer.
Correct.
I think there's a security guard sitting there.
Yeah.
But that's
and
it.
He's got an individual pack of Band-Aids, and that's about it.
Probably.
Yeah, okay.
I wouldn't want to be him
Well,
or
no
her.
kidding. As far as I know one of the reasons that we spoke the other day, patient care. What's going to happen to patients that are not ready to be jettisoned or on the bubble kind of stuff?
Mary, you want to handle that because you've done
Okay.
cardiac too, which is
That's
a huge
our
concern.
main concern. I work in the cardiac cath lab. Between us and VM Memorial, there are 5 cath labs, 2 at Memorial, 3 at ours. Patients come in having a heart attack, they need to get on the table right away, get that artery back open.
Sure.
And we've just shut down 3 labs. And neither hospital could absorb the care, the amount of patients that we have.
We
one.
needed what we had
Yeah,
in
we
order
needed
to be
what
able
we
to serve
have.
what we need, right?
Exactly. And it was done so quickly that patients that were already scheduled to have procedures were canceled. And so that's stressful for them. I mean, they've had heart problems. It's
Probably
scary.
the last population you want to put that kind of stress on. Right?
Exactly. And, we were told on Wednesday afternoon, and Friday at 1 o'clock, we finished our last case and out the door. They did have a call team for emergencies until they closed the ER.
So what is taking place in the building now? Are there anybody in any rooms? Or?
As of, you
Well,
know more than I do.
yes.
There were 4 left.
There were
I
4
think.
left. 2 went yesterday. I know that Toppenish, I believe, was expecting the last 2.
Transfer
And
down?
yeah, and as a matter of an update, I was called to see if I could work last night at Toppenish because we were getting a cardiac patient transfer from Memorial because they are full.
Wow.
So what we're supposed to do for that, I have no idea because we have excellent ICU nurses. We have, I'm a cardiac nurse also, but usually we send them up the hill in case they need a cath lab. So now we're going backwards.
Yeah.
And this is one day after everything is official. The ER is closed, basically.
Is there a room for Sunnyside and Toppage to absorb much in the way of the staff, or are they pretty full up?
Both are very small hospitals.
Yeah.
Sunnyside is considered a critical access, so I believe that their limitation is 25 patients. They do not have an open heart program. I don't know, usually if they needed stents, they were sent to us in Yakima.
Is it possible that they could sort of absorb those procedures there? I mean, is there
Not at Toppenish. There's no cardiac cath care there at all. They do have an ICU. But the nearest cardiac surgery is in Cadillac.
okay? Well, I had my gallbladder out in Toppenish, so next time you're down there, say hi to my gallbladder.
I will.
I'm sure it's in a jar somewhere on the shelf, but
We keep
In
them
the
all,
nurses'
you know.
lounge.
yeah, definitely. Little Dave's name. And
Yeah.
picture on it there.
A famous gallbladder. What more is there?
I was always told I had a lot of gall, and now we know why.
Yes.
So, man, oh man, what is the union able to provide? I mean, we know like when there's strikes, people get money from the union because they're not working. But when there's mass layoffs like that, is it every man, woman for themselves, or
That's your area.
Yeah, it would have been nice to get some notice for the whole valley, let alone us, because we found out at the same time. I was
Yeah.
actually over in Spokane at a vigil for Sacred Heart in Providence. We don't have like monies just set aside to
Yeah.
pay people. There are programs, and we had a large meeting yesterday that we gave updates to, but today is the court hearing where we asked the judge that let them close to reconsider, and within 2 hours he did let us have a court date for that. So we do have people we're talking to. We don't, we have, well, there's over 400 people that are employed at Astria Regional. We have over 100 nurses. There are nurses that are applying like crazy
Sure.
all over the place here, but not too many that have, been hired yet. And when you're like one of my friends, a single mom who has house payments,
Sure. Tough.
who has worked there a long time, there's unemployment, there's help for that. But a lot of that, nurses are kind of a unique breed. Because when they started calling me, freaking out, because I'm friends with a lot of them, it wasn't what am I going to do, it's what are our patients going to do.
Yeah, I could just imagine.
And so I find that just an amazing thing, and the disrespect of how this was done is what's very harmful to them, what's very harmful to the community. Because a lot of them were told to be 2 weeks. The next day they came in, they had to hand in their badge, they were done.
Well, and it's not just the nurses. I
Yeah.
mean, a
Oh, my
hospital
goodness, yes.
functions as a team. So it's the housekeeping staff, the food services staff, the maintenance staff, admitting secretaries, nurses' aides, people. I mean, RNs. There's quite a few positions out there. It normally takes about 3 to 4 weeks to get hired anywhere. So in between that time, there's no money for them. And then you look at the rest of the population, the rest of our team that don't have that advantage, and it's going to be devastating, especially when both husband and wife work at the same place.
Wow, yeah.
And now
Have the
nobody's
insurance
getting
that they
income.
won't have.
Yeah.
No insurance, no money.
All right, so what do we want the community to know from you guys' perspective? We've got a couple minutes left here. What's the message to Yakima from you folks?
That we're scared for you. I mean,
We've
but,
heard
you
words
know,
like cataclysmic and all these other things.
in a way, yes, we're scared for you, we're scared for us, but more than that, the community needs to demand some respect through this process. They need to demand that they be heard because they're the ones that are being affected the most in this. And it can be their life, their health. And none of them were given that right. And I know doing national things that I do too, there are hospitals that close, but I've never seen one do this. We've been able to keep some of them open at a national level in smaller communities that are underserved. And it is a financial crisis for a lot of them, but everybody had notice.
Yeah.
Sometimes months of notice.
Merry Christmas, you're gone is not
Yeah.
really the way that.
Yeah,
Well, and
do you,
then-
exactly.
I mean, do you guys want the state to step in? Do you want?
I guess what I would like to have seen, and I don't know if it's still possible if the judge can redo this, but if you're going to close, you're going to close. But you meet with the other facilities in the area so that you can start to have the conversation about who's going to be able to pick up this load. Who's going to
Transition,
be,
yeah,
yeah. Let's do it smoothly.
Amazing thought.
Yeah.
Well, but
And
but let
bring
me-
in the rest of the hospitals are going to have to absorb this.
I guess the question that I would have is that all of this doesn't fall on Astria, or does it?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But in
Yeah.
terms of, I mean, when they took over, there was no outstanding debt.
They
was
had debt.
They had debt. They took. over the
However,
debt.
there were many mistakes made that could have helped resolve that, and a lot of decisions made.
So you
and
don't see this further back up the food
it
chain.
is-
This is a current scenario.
I
Well-
would say probably the last few years,
Yeah.
The
there's
last
been some.
three owners. We're on our fourth ownership.
Yeah.
Once we were sold by the Sisters of Providence in 2003, things were pretty good with HMA for a couple of years, and then from there it went downhill.
Are you tough to work with? Is that the deal? Is
I
that why
am.
owners
She
keep
used to be
changing
a-
Mary? Is
Yeah.
that why?
I have been there.
It's
so
all
long.
her.
I was gonna say 42 years. This is ornery, and she wants it her way.
Yes.
Hey, I was born there, and 2 weeks later they put me to work.
Push you to work. I don't blame them.
Well, I think, ladies, I think a lot of people are just wondering how you lose $40 million since 2017. I think that's really a concern.
Yeah, we'd like to know too.
Yeah, I know you would. I know.
And
you would.
I know that the hospitals have been using a lot of traveling nurses, which I was a traveling nurse at one point. They make a little more, but
Yeah.
instead of a number of the nurses have expressed that instead of having competitive wages and hiring more people to be staff, they haven't done that. And because of that, people are going to other places, especially nurses.
It's
and
hard
so
to
then
recruit
it
when
is
they
hard
know
to
they're in
recruit.
trouble. Do you want to go start working for a hospital that's not doing well?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So the court hearing, it's today,
At 9:30, yes.
and the possible outcomes of that are what?
Who knows? I mean, we're hoping they'll even let us have our witnesses. We have nurses, different people that are affected by this, discussing how it is going to impact the community and how it's going to impact healthcare, which is what should have been done in the first
Sure.
place.
But if I'm out of money, I mean, it's almost like the horse is out now, and we're talking about
Sure.
future proceedings
Yeah.
to deal with barn doors. Because if I don't have any money and I've already pulled the trigger, then mostly what you guys are doing is just getting a vent, unless there is a prescription in the court that says, sorry, find some money somewhere, keep it open for another 60 days,
Yeah.
and go out with some style here. And I don't know
Well,
if that's a
and-
possibility.
Well, there is an act called the Warren Act, where when any workers have a union, there should be 60 days notice. And that wasn't done because we found out. So there is a legal precedent for
Okay.
that, which will be brought up.
Sure.
But who knows what'll happen? I mean, we might get there and they might say, we don't want to hear any witnesses. The ruling stands. I think for a lot of the healthcare people, just being able to actually give some input
Yeah.
is important because they haven't even had a chance to do that.
Well, ladies, we wish you the best of luck. It is a shock to the community. There's no question about that. We are going to see a pinching in of access as a result. I think you're indicating we're already seeing that, and who knows where that all leads. Best case scenario, somebody swoops in here in the next 30 days and says, "Look, we've checked you guys out. We see where efficiencies can be found, and we think we can dig our way out. And we hope many of our champions will come back and continue to work. But who knows if that's what it's going to be or not." 2020 year starts out with a great deal of uncertainty for you folks, but just on behalf of people who have given their gallbladders for the cause and other parts, appreciate the quality of care and concern for the patients that you're expressing now and that have been expressed all along through this. I mean, nurses are, as daughters studying to be one, are amazing people, and we hate to see them be in any kind of position other than right where they need to be, and that's by my bed helping me, not needing the help themselves. So
Correct.
Right.
Yes. Well, thank you very
Thank
much
you.
for giving us the time.
good luck. Can we? Are you going to be at the hearing then?
Yes,
Julia?
yes.
We are. Can we hear back from you?
Sure.
As to how it all went and what seems to be happening next?
Sure, you bet.
We'd appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck, ladies. God bless. Appreciate it.
Bye bye.
Lance says your local news right after this.